Good morning. My name is Matthew Buckett, and I'm a research fellow from the Cambodian Institute for Strategic Studies. For our interview today, I'm joined by Dr. Sok Siphana, managing partner at SokSiphana&associates. For our interview today, the topic will be the World Economic Forum on ASEAN 2017, which will be hosted here in Cambodia in May. Thank you, Doctor, for taking the time today out of your busy schedule for this interview.
My pleasure.
I wanted to start by asking you, what do you believe is the significance of Cambodia hosting this year's World Economic Forum on ASEAN?
I think foremost is the recognition that Cambodia is quite a mature country that can take on its role as an active and full-fledged member of ASEAN. So the hosting of this World Economic Forum on ASEAN is on a rotational basis, right, in a way. And the fact that it was in Malaysia, Vietnam, then Cambodia, we feel that we are one, among all the ASEAN countries that we can take on the responsibility to highlight, to project, not just Cambodia, but as ASEAN, that we are capable as much as any other ASEAN country.
Great. And specifically for Cambodia, how do you believe that this year's World Economic Forum and ASEAN can play a role in helping Cambodia realize its potential as an investment destination?
I think by default, the fact that the World Economic Forum come to a particular country, they do bring their sort of like captive membership, their captive audience, and by default, it will raise the profile of the host country. And hopefully Cambodia, through our effort, through the various speech, various promotion, we could promote Cambodia not just as a host country, but as a host country that do have economic potential for foreign company to come and invest in Cambodia.
Keeping with the theme of investment, as Cambodia continues to develop, what future areas of investment do you think will be important for foreign investors to consider?
Well, Cambodia, we are in the process now to move toward the next level of industrialization. The government have our own industrial development policy, 2015-2025, which is shortly called the IDP. It set a clear policy framework as to where, Cambodia should be in the next 10 or 15 years. So in this sense here, I see in the area of global supply chain, it will play a major role in sort of like bringing the various company, whether they're multinational or local, to form part of the supply chain. So here I see the area of investment will be more into cluster, development of industrial cluster, technological park, industrial zone that are more specialized, more focused than before, where Cambodia for the last 10 to 15 years, we're still at the level of garment, footwear, light industry. So I think anything along what I call the factory Asia, which is, is a one production chain, right? ASEAN product. If we can position as a country that can take part of the supply chain, that would be a good area for foreign investor to consider. Yeah.
So what do you believe is the significance of the overall themes of this year's World Economic Forum on ASEAN, which is youth, technology, and growth?
To me, the theme is very relevant because, ASEAN as a whole, Cambodia specifically, we have a very young population. And this is what I call the demographic dividend, that we have people that are young, meaning they are very capable to learn, to adapt, adjust, and catch on the latest, much easier, the latest technological advancement. So I would say technology will be a very good component that will match well with the younger generation. Right? To be fair to the older generation, we grew up in different technological era. And the adjustment at a certain age is a bit difficult, right? So I see the linkage of youth and technology is a seamless approach, right? I see the future of Cambodia would be how does Cambodia nurture this young talent, how to motivate, how to inculcate the new love of science, technology, math, engineering. That's the only area that I think will help Cambodia to catapult to the next level of development. So I'm all on board on this theme of use and technology.
Since 1999, the World Economic Forum has tried to shift to a more inclusive approach that focuses on inviting a more diverse group of stakeholders and aiming for policies that founder Klaus Schwab termed to have everybody in the boat. How can this approach benefit both ASEAN and the World Economic Forum?
I think for the World Economic Forum they have all been presented as more a globalized body that tackle the larger macro issue with all the major leaders, and I think it's a big leap of faith to reach out down to the lower strata of people who don't actually have a voice. So to me, it's a good effort. I mean, to reach out. I mean, the UN, the world has always considered that without inclusiveness, the development would not be, I would say, just in a way. For ASEAN, the same thing, because the bulk of our population, in many different ASEAN member countries, we still have pocket of poverty, even though in a more advanced economy of ASEAN. Cambodia, of course, our poverty rate we're about now 14-15%. Still, there are a good margin of people who are slightly above the poverty line. So in that sense, any development that is inclusive can only but help. And for ASEAN as a whole, it's the same thing. We need to bring this inclusiveness. We need to bring that sort of the fruit of development, the fruit of economic integration, the fruit of globalization, if I can say, should filter down to that level. But it's not automatic. It's not automatic. It requires a conscious effort at the national level or different country. And to me, the effort of the World Economic Forum can only but help to raise the awareness of the issue, to raise the profile of the country so that it can tackle more, allocate more resource, more focus on policy that are pro-poor, whether in trade, pro-poor trade policy, whether pro-poor development. These are the sort of things that I think will benefit. Yeah.
And in staying with the idea of addressing challenges, given the context of major global challenges, such as sluggish global demand, climate change, increasing protectionism, how do you foresee the World Economic Forum on ASEAN having in addressing these challenges?
I think the World Economic Forum ASEAN should continue to reiterate firmly, strongly, the need to that economic liberalization matter, that reversing toward the old protectionism, inward looking is not helping the world economy, is not helping the region. So ASEAN is an outward looking, open, regionalized region, right? And we benefit. Our growth have been, as a result of our opening. And we should continue to keep the message strong that ASEAN, irrespective of where in Europe or where in America, there are a strong sort of popular, the popular movement toward more, I would say, inward-looking. ASEAN should make it clear that we continue to believe in openness. We continue to believe in trade and economic liberalization. We continue to believe that development, will not take place, by having different countries looking inward selfishly for their own, benefit. So I think having the World Economic Forum on ASEAN in Cambodia this time, where we have a economy that is thriving for the last 20-some years, more than 7% average 20 year, it's clear testament, it's clear proof that this growth was and is and will continue to be as a result of economic openness and of course the world openness.
Based on history and experience, how do you see the role of Cambodia in working with other countries within the framework of the World Economic Forum to address challenges?
Cambodia is a country that emerged from conflict, and we grew for the last 20 years mainly again on that spirit of openness, on the spirit of partnership. We work very, very closely with our development partner, whether they are multilateral, whether they are bilateral, whether they are civil society for that matter. And private sector has always been a driving force or a privileged partner of the royal government Cambodia as well. So I would say that, Cambodia as a country that embraced that partnership spirit, we should not see any issue nor difficulty, nor do we need to make extra effort because for the last 20 years, it's been part of our modus operandi already. So partnering with the World Economic Forum is just another partner to reinforce that particular spirit of partnership.
Great. Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, nothing.
Well, those are all the questions that I have.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for tuning into this interview with CISS. And thank you, Dr. SokSiphana, for taking the time again today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, good luck.